Well, hello. It's me, Jeff Black. I'm here again to talk to you about some Beach Boys records that I'm a big fan of. Um, what I do here in my Three into One series is I take three Beach Boys albums that were released consecutively and then condense them into one album because, in my opinion, the pace at which the Beach Boys were forced to record albums was ridiculous. So I say to myself, well, what if they took those three albums and they didn't have to put all the filler songs on it? They condensed them into one album. What would that look like? So the three albums I'm looking at today, the first one is Little Deuce Coupe, which was released on October 7th, 1963. A lot of great tunes on Little Deuce Coupe. Uh, it's a classic album for sure. And we'll get back to that in just a little bit. The next album on the docket is Shutdown Volume 2. There was a Shutdown Volume 1. You can see most of it down here on the bottom right of my screen. I know some of it gets blocked out by my video image here. Um, the Shutdown Volume 1 had, a whole bunch. It was a compilation of songs that were about, uh, cars and stuff like that. So, but Shutdown Volume 2 was the Beach Boys' sort of follow up to that. So that's where we get the Volume 2. And then finally, the last album that I'll be considering today is All Summer Long, one of my favorite albums. It came out on July 13th, 1964, and got to number one on the Billboard charts in on July 4th. Um, and the album came out about a week later, whatever it was. So, you know, pretty good timing there by the band. Really great lead up. I'm sure that helped record sales quite a bit. Interesting thing about this is on the album cover, you can see the Beach Boys with all kinds of girls like hanging out on the beach, but none of these girls, although the Beach Boys had wives and girlfriends at that time, these girls aren't them. They're just like models or whatever that got put in for the video shoot. I didn't realize that for a long time, but I think that's kind of fun. So, if I'm going to go ahead and make my Beach Boys three into one album, the first song is that's going to lead off side one is "Shutdown." I love "Shutdown." The producer credits go to Nick Vinette or Nick Vinay, however you say it. Um, Although legend has it that Brian was actually producing this song. So I love it. There's some great moments in there, both songwriting wise and production wise, that I can't get enough of. Um, Great tune and certainly worthy of leading off side one of an album. So the next song that would follow up that on side one would be Little Deuce Coupe. They're called Deuce Coupes as a reference to the fact that they were built in 1932 by Ford. So two Deuce, that's where we get all that. So I think that's pretty cool. If you go to a Beach Boys, quote unquote Beach Boys concert today, you're almost undoubtedly going to hear Little Deuce Coupe. So uh, this song isn't as much of a well-known favorite as the first two are, but Custom Machine I just love. There's some great lyrics in there. I'm pretty sure they weren't written by Brian. It might have been Roger Christian. Um, but the whole stuff about magnesium spokes stands an inch off the ground, you know. But the part that I wanted to highlight here, and I put it in highlight, although you can't see all of it at the bottom of the screen, is when I step on the gas, she goes, and then the Beach Boys go into this great vocal, like wah wah wah. It's freaking awesome. I love it. I love it. So yeah, definitely in the mix for me as a great Beach Boys team. Following up that, we have Don't Back Down. Now, I didn't realize this until I started doing the research for this video, although I might have suspected it. But this was actually the very last song that referenced surfing until the Beach Boys released Do It Again in 1968. So 1964 to 1968, well, it's only 4 years, but those 4 years in rock history, those are a pretty big 4 years. So it's interesting to see that this was the last time, and I think that was deliberate. And I'll get back to that a little bit when I talk about All Summer Long. But the Beach Boys didn't want to be pigeonholed as like a surf band or a car band or something like that. They wanted to be a band, like a regular rock group. Um, and although the surfing ethos and all that may have helped them get started, I think, right around 1964, 65, 66, that was going to be a hindrance to them. And this was, distancing themselves from that was a way to, build their brand, basically. So love don't back down. You got to be a little nuts. So I almost left this one off the album by mistake. I just sort of didn't notice it. Um, but Girls on the Beach is definitely one of my favorite Beach Boys songs. Every time I go to the beach, typically in Salisbury, Massachusetts, Salisbury Beach, should I do two or one? I don't even know. Whatever. It's a great beach. Go get some Christie's pizza if you're there. Um, or Tripoli's. They're both pretty good. Christie's has anchovies and Tripoli's doesn't, which is why I prefer Christie's. Anyway, I'm like walking down the beach. Typically, I walk with, ankles deep in the sand. I mean, in the surf, and I walk down the beach. And as I'm walking, the whole time I'm like, "Girls on the beach," oh, and I don't even mean to. So it's just kind of funny, but Beach Boys get into your head sometimes. All right, so rounding out side one, and I think this is a great. How is there a better closer for an album on an album side? Fun, fun, fun. It reached number 5 on the Billboard charts. Probably would have gone higher. It was the peak of Beatlemania right around then. Um, it was held back by three Beatles songs, including "I Want to Hold Your Hand," "She Loves You," and "Please Please Me." "Please Please Me" was a little bit old at that time. That surprises me a little bit. And then "Dawn Go Away" by the Four Seasons, who the Beach Boys actually had a kind of East Coast West Coast. It was the original East Coast West Coast rivalry. It was the Beach Boys and the Four Seasons, as opposed to the rap rivalry that we've become familiar with in recent years. But yeah, that was definitely a rivalry. It was definitely at the height of Beatlemania. So the fact that they even hit number 5, I can't believe this song didn't go number 1. I love this song. I think most Beach Boys fans consider it, top tier, um, top tier among Beach Boys tunes. So yeah, they did steal the guitar lick at the beginning from Chuck Berry. The opening guitar is the same guitar as Johnny B. Good, but I think I consider that more of a tribute than like a theft or something like that. So all right, so opening up round two, sound two, side two, I Get Around. This was the Beach Boys' first number one hit. It went to number one, as I sort of previously referenced, on July 4th, 1964. Um, and to this day, whether you see Brian or Mike Love's incarnation of the Beach Boys, this song is one of the ones that gets played. It's a great tune. Um, I love the humility in it. Like, the bad guys know us and they leave us alone. Like there's so much humility in there where they don't pretend or try to pretend to be like tough guys or something like that or macho guys. They're just like, hey, we're the Beach Boys. So the second song on this might be one of the more surprising that I picked. This is track 2, side 2, "No Go Showboat." It was a tough call, but I truly love this tune. Um, and I really did have to include it. I love that guitar there, if you can see the picture that Carl is holding. I think that's either a Fender Jaguar or Mustang. I can't quite tell this quickly, but it's just a great guitar. I have myself a Fender Mustang from around that era. So I'm a big fan of that guitar and the sound, the jangly sort of sound that they produce. But yeah, No Go Showboat. It's so funny. Once again, they're not saying, "Oh, I have the fastest car in the world." No, what they're saying is, "My car looks really cool, but it's not all that fast." And I think that's kind of cool. A lot of bands wouldn't do that. So so the next song, Warmth of the Sun. This is one of my favorite songs, not just Beach Boy songs of all time. I love this tune. The melody of it, to me, I hear it inspire everything in music since it was released. There's so much stuff that it has inspired, including, like, let's say, Lithium by Nirvana. I really feel like there's a connection between those two tunes. But it was written as a response by Brian immediately after the assassination of John F. Kennedy, our president at the time. And if you've never heard it, Willie Nelson has done an amazing, amazing cover of this tune. I think the Beach Boys back him up on some performances of it, but it's really amazing. It's a great tune. Warmth of the Sun. To me, I'm not even talking Beach Boys records. I'm talking about all records. That's in my top 10 for sure. So I love that tune. So following that, I would go with Wendy. Uh, so something I discovered in my research for this video is that Wendy was actually the B-side to the single for Good Vibrations. That seems a little weird. I mean, these songs are nothing alike. Wendy is kind of from a whole different era, although I guess in 1966, if you're looking back at 1964, it's not that much of a different era. But to me, and I think future people looking back on it, it was a pretty different era. But Brian has said that this song was not about his daughter, Wendy Wilson, of the same name. So, that's kind of interesting. I wonder if he named his daughter after the song. I remember being at a party in college one night, years and years ago, and meeting a girl named Wendy, and I sang her the first half of the song, and she was like probably horrified. But no, there we go. So the next song on my album here, my three into one album, would be Don't Worry Baby. Brian originally wrote this song for the Ronettes, Phil Spector's band, including his wife, Ronnie Spector. Uh, Brian Brian's favorite song, according to him, was "Be My Baby" by the Ronettes, and he wanted to write a response to that, so it was "Don't Worry Baby." Phil Spector rejected it, and then the rest is history. It became a Beach Boys song, and maybe that's a good thing. Um, I mean, if this had become a Phil Spector song, run that song, history would have changed. It still would be a great Brian Wilson tune, but all right. And then finally, here we're on to All Summer Long. All Summer Long, as you can see, I've written it on the screen here, but it's always felt to me like it's an homage, like a hey, this is what we've done. We love you guys. We love summer. We love cars. We love surfing. But you know what? Summer's over, and we got to go back to work. We got to go do something else. And I think that's sort of poignant. I've always, although it's a happy song, if you just listen to it melodically, everything like that, it's it's there's a little pinch of sadness in there too, a melancholy, whatever it might be. So yeah, we've been having fun all summer long, like. And then after that, the Beach Boys moved into other stuff such as Beach Boys Today and Pet Sounds and everything like that. So this was sort of the end of that era for the band. I love this picture of Brian here. He's probably about 19 or something like that. Just kind of rocking out, being Brian Wilson. So that being said, that song all summer long would have closed off side two of my Beach Boys 3 into 1 album. There's some songs I left off that you might, really, really like. Cherry Cherry Coupe, which had sort of previously been recorded as Land Ahoy. I've already covered Land Ahoy. Cherry Cherry Coupe is a good tune. Um, the connection with Land Ahoy, I've already um, mentioned. So, not gonna make the list. Spirit of America, great tune, great vocals. Not again, not my favorite. Our Car Club, Be True to Your School. Be True to Your School is probably the biggest song I'm leaving off of this list. But I just, it's a good song. There's a couple different versions of it. There's the one with the cheerleaders and the one without it. Um, I don't know. It's great, but not if I'm picking one album out of three, that song doesn't make it. And then the toughest one for me was This Car of Mine. I love This Car of Mine. I love Dennis Wilson's vocals on it. He's Denny is always great when his vocals. He's always, whether or not he's the best singer in the band, which I don't think he is, he's the most soulful singer in the band, and I do love that. So hell yeah to Denny Wilson. Uh, so that's about all I got for you today. Just wanted to say thanks for coming by and having a look at this video. Go Beach Boys, Surfing USA.